Hi! I'm going to start today showing you guys how to make a radial design. It seems pretty complicated when you look at some of the art that uses radial designs, but it's actually really easy. You just have to follow some simple steps, and all you really need to get the design part down is a pencil and maybe an eraser and your paper. So I have a square paper, but you can make radial designs on any size paper. We're going to do squares because it's easy to figure out where you want to put your stuff. So what you're going to do is fold it in half once. You're going to carefully fold it so that the edges line up as best as you can. If the square is not perfect, they won't line up perfectly. Then you're going to fold it again. So now it's long and skinny. You're going to make it into a square again by folding it. And now the last step is to fold it in a particular way to make a triangle. So you need to have the open part in the top corner. So these are all open. And the fold, the bottom corner, and that's what you're going to fold on. Because we want to make a radial fold. And you'll see how it will look when I unfold it. So there we go, I made a triangle by folding that way. So now I can unfold this, and I end up with, ta-da! This gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections that I can start my radial design in. And it's pretty easy. All you have to do is just repeat. So we're going to create this rhythm and pattern by repeating an element more than once, and that's how we get our radial design. And you can do just a regular pattern like stripes if you want, or you can do more complicated things. So let me show you what will happen, say, if you decide to do stripes. So you're going to pick a section to start in. So I'll say this triangle is my starting section. If you want to mark it like that you can erase later, I'm going to put a little 1 right there. So this is my starting triangle. I'm always going to put my design in here first and then copy it. And I'm not going to draw a whole design and then try to copy a very complicated thing. I'm going to go step by step. So first I'll say, I want to make a stripe. Easy enough. So I'm going to turn it, and now in my next triangle section, I'm going to make the stripe again. And again, in the next section, in the next section, in the next section, all the way around until I get back to where I started. And I wasn't even paying attention really to how they looked all together. I was a little bit to make sure that I wasn't making my stripe go crazy up there or anything. I was making sure it was doing the same thing every time, but it ends up meeting up. So that's easy. And so all you have to do then is just keep adding things. So let's say I want a circle at the top of the stripe. So as I'm going, I'm turning my paper, and each triangle, I'm putting the exact same thing. Now I'm back to my 1 triangle again. There we go. You can even make designs that connect. So let's say I want to make a stripe that goes over here like this. Now, I made it stop, right? Because that's going into a new triangle. And the new triangle is not part of my pattern. I'm only working with 1 triangle at a time. So pretty much I'm not crossing over this folded line until I'm done with that pattern on that triangle. And then I'm moving to the next one. I'm not crossing over the folded line. But now that I'm back to 1, I can say, oh look, this meets up here. So I can make some kind of pattern that has to do with that. So let's say, if this meets up here, I'm going to give a bump like this. 4 bumps. So this is a process that takes a while. You have to think and focus. It's slow, it's not quick. Take your time and you think about what you want to add each time. So now it looks like I have waving hands going across. So I'm back in my one triangle. And you'll just keep going until you fill this up. So maybe now I'll put a curve up here. Next one. And of course it's not going to be perfect every single time you make it. You're just making the designs as close as you can each time. And if it changes a little bit, that's okay. You just fix your own problems. You say, okay, well that one's a little different, so I'll have to make the next one a little different to match or something. Okay? So now I'm back at 1 and this meets up here. What am I going to have it do? Maybe I'll have it come all the way across the page. All the way across that triangle. Ooh. So every time I'm just adding one thing at a time to each new triangle. They don't have to meet up. They can all be separate, but if you want them to meet up, it's not that hard to make this part of your design. So I'm back to 1. Well, now I have this cool thing going on, but this one's loose. Maybe I can have this one connect to that one. So that would be a curve this way. Alright, I think you guys are getting the idea. So that's what we'll do to make our radial designs. We'll continue adding and adding until you fill it up with things you want. You can even go in and add patterns. So let's say, oops, that's not number 1. In my number 1 I might want to make a checker pattern in this little triangle. And then this little triangle will have a checker pattern too. And then this little triangle. And you just add the same pattern every time. So if you want to fill in with patterns, you can do that. But don't make too many complicated steps in one triangle, because it'll be hard to move to the next triangle and do the same thing. So make sure each step is easy and something you can copy in the next triangle. You'll Sharpie this with thin or thick Sharpies depending on what you like. And then we are going to color with markers. I don't want to see any realistic drawings. I don't want you to put like a person. I don't want you to put like a dog. Now, this is an abstract. I just want you to use shapes, patterns, lines to create a good balance, a radial balance that looks good and feels good. If it ends up looking a little bit like something like this, ended up looking a little bit like a hand, it wasn't on purpose. I mean, that's okay. But I want you to, where's my number 1? Ooh, there it is. I want you to try not to have something realistic. We want an abstract or a non-objective piece of art. Okay guys, so have fun doing this. It should take a while if you're paying attention and focusing on what you're doing.